Hey guys, welcome to Waste Not Wednesday. We go live Wednesday at 10 a.m. to show you junk that we're going to make over. Today, we are making this over. It's out of the basement. Originally, it was thrifted. I have zero clue what was paid for. Do you even remember?
Yes, I got this about 4 or 5, I'm going to say 5 years ago, and I paid $20 for it at the thrift store.
And it's been a good gun cabinet.
It's an old gun cabinet, and that's what I used it for. But when the fridge died, I graduated up to a fridge gun cabinet.
If you follow us on the Homestead channel, maybe we'll show you our DIY gun cabinet made out of an old fridge.
It works so good.
It's so much bigger. And so I was like, well, what are we going to do with this? And back in the day, if you guys have followed us for any length of time, we used to make over gun cabinets specifically to turn into cute little curios and hutches that weren't super big. So that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to show you how to make this over. We will not get the shelves in today, but Zep's going to show you how to put hardware cloth in the front, because now that it no longer is housing guns, we can make it cutesy.
And we are going to pop this inset out of the door here and do hardware cloth so you can see all of the quilts inside and the storage or whoever ends up with this, because Jamie was going to use it in our house, and then she's like, oh, that's not big enough for all my quilts.
Yeah, so I need to find a new hutch that's like deep enough but like not too tall, because we're going to need one in the new playroom. Cooper's pretty excited that we're getting a playroom that doesn't attach to the little boy's room, because him and Odelia like to play video games, and there's like this little, if you guys have seen our house tour, we have a little mouse hole that connects the playroom to the boys' room, and so they have to try to be quiet. And that's not even a possibility for those two. So we're moving him, the playroom, into the basement. So that way when the little boys are sleeping, the teenagers can like watch movies and play video games.
All right, so I got to get the stuff out of here. We'll see how successful I am at this without pliers. And I have the wrong screwdriver for this attachment, but this is going to be loud for just a sec.
That was loud. Is this mud?
Maybe. You may have to repaint this. This is the original, like I got it. I didn't paint it. It was cream and blue when we picked it up. And this is like a really good vintagey blue on the back here, which maybe I'll conveniently put a shelf there so we don't have to repaint that. It does have
strategic shelf placement.
I don't know if you can see it back up in here. There's like a paint spill over in this corner. I don't know what it is, but it's got to go too. Hang on, I got to bang again.
Classic example of knots bleeding through the wood. If you guys ever have this, can you guys see this? Let me see. They can. We'll show you in a minute. But if you ever have this happen, you can use our Salvation solution over the top of the knots, do 2 coats, let it sit overnight, then paint again, and that'll stop all that bleed through. Yeah, we actually have a lot of knots on our front porch, on these posts by our sink that we need to do. I need to practice what I preach, but it's a common problem when you're painting over pine. So I thought I'd mention that.
Okay, one more. I got to knock these out here.
It's going to be very construction-y.
Oh, that one didn't come out. This is how good wood glue works. Like I'm hitting this hard with a hammer and it's actually breaking the top layer of the wood off. The glue did not fail.
And a lot of people ask how we clean our projects. I just like to use a damp rag with a little bit of soap. So I happen to have the same pot. If you watched our live yesterday, is still soaking because that made cheese in it. It's not coming out. So I just used that. I put new water in it this morning.
It burns at the bottom. Eventually it'll soak out, right?
Well, so this is probably not the most like chemically clean way to do it. But if you have a pot that just won't come clean, use a dryer sheet and put it in there, or like a casserole dish. Let that soak for a few hours and it will usually loosen it up. Are you going to hammer again?
No, I'm just going to vacuum all the sawdust that's in the bottom of this.
Do you have the screwdriver to take off the...
I need to go get the right screwdriver, but I have one. I'll go get it in a minute. I'm going to get this front door off, and we're going to... You want to show them the hardware cloth, what we're going to do?
Okay.
Back behind there.
So chicken wire is cute. That's what's actually on our cabinet here in the kitchen. But I actually prefer a hardware cloth.
Well, you can show them from back there.
I'm going to show them from right here. You see that? Because I feel like it doesn't stretch as much. And chicken wire is really hard to get on, right? And actually, to be honest, if you need to predator-proof your chicken coop, hardware cloth is what you want anyways. So little homesteading tip. You might have to go a few feet down to keep anything from burrowing under. You never know what you're going to get here. Are you going to get a DIY? Or you're going to get a tip on how to keep your chickens away from predators?
You know what? There is a resurgence of like people that want to have chickens. And
yeah, every time I go to the grocery store, they're like $8 a dozen. I'm getting me some chickens.
So my sister's already ordered her chickens. They're not delivering until April. And
Which sister?
That's
Katie?
in Tucson.
Because she doesn't have any chickens right now?
Yeah, a dog got in their yard and got all of her chickens.
Oh, so she needs some hardware cloth.
Yeah. All right, this is like glued in with the paint, so hopefully this comes out without breaking this door apart. Sorry about all the banging.
Shelly, it's not in our Amazon store, but Caitlin could probably find you one of our Amazon links for that shark stick vac. If she can't, message me and I will get you one. I need to update my Amazon store. I'm like the worst influencer ever. Like I can direct you to jamierayvintage.com, but above and beyond that, I'm not very good.
Okay, this came out pretty good. I'm going to use this as a template for the hardware cloth.
Chicken feed is spendy, but
not as spendy as the eggs.
Yeah, and the eggs are so much better for you. And if you're like us, we have a lot of like leftovers and things like that don't get eaten. So we just pass those on to the chickens. And when we have a garden, we just throw them garden. Like if the lettuce gets too bitter because we let it grow too tall or whatever, we just throw that into the chickens and they love it.
So realistically, like by the time you put in a lot of effort and your energy to grow a garden and raise your own animals and your food that way, you're probably not actually saving a lot of money. But what you are getting is like when you're doing that from your own home, you got to compare to like organic prices, and it's probably even better than most organic. Most people don't know this. They spray pesticides on organic food.
All right. So Caitlin, the model number is WV201CO, if that makes it easier to find. And here it is. And this is fairly new, so they should have it on Amazon. Fresh eggs are so much better tasting. Yeah, they are. Because even when we get like organic eggs from Costco, our eggs are so much like more of a yellow yolk and they just taste better.
All right, let's see. We're going to construction the kitchen out for a second.
Construction the kitchen out?
A lot of construction happened in this kitchen because it was the first place done where the roof was on.
The construction has never ended.
And I was able to get out of the rain when we were building the addition over here.
This is like my least favorite part. I always feel like I'm going to lose an eye.
Yeah, maybe.
So you want to use this as a pattern?
I usually do this down on the floor. But yes, we're going to cut this out exactly to this.
Sarah says there's unlimited potential in growing, raising your own. Yeah, and if you have a rooster, then you could get, have new chicks. You could incubate them and sell your chicks. I mean, you could start yourself a little chicken operation. And if you're not like opposed to it, you can eat your chickens when they're no longer useful. Turn them into sausage. Happening on a homestead channel near you.
Chickens have like a 3-year shelf life on their egg laying, and even the rooster's fertility is about 3 years.
They're not like men that can still have children in their 80s.
Oh, well, he's probably 80 years old at about 3 years.
Chicken ears.
Yeah.
Cynthia says, I hate working with hardware cloth. I do suggest, if you've got delicate hands like me,
gloves,
that you wear gloves.
Okay, now that I've got the template, I'm going to just drop it down because you really only need to make 2 marks and then you just follow the hardware cloth line. All right, you can start painting.
Caitlin, that's fine. Can you go ahead and link that one that you found from the Amazon store for her? Thank you for doing that. I can get started painting, but I don't know what color. Definitely not white because we got bleed through and I don't have time for that.
I'm just going to be back here cutting this.
Are we tired of...
I have really been loving the faded burlap.
I was actually just going to say...
We just did a bunch of faded burlap, but we can do a color of a week, can't we?
Well, I haven't done any faded burlap on a big piece. However, this hardware is not my favorite. So...
We probably need to get rid of the hardware, and we're going to probably have to circle back because I'm going to have to fill that hole because we're going to take the lock off the front as well, off that front knob.
Or can we just cover it with an IOD mold?
Sure.
All right, I'm going to get started painting. I don't know how exciting this is going to be. All right, I need a brush. I'm really falling asleep on the job today. We aren't allowed to have chickens in our yard. We live in the city, but I would love to have some.
So check your city. Hens are considered domestic. So a lot of cities will allow up to 5 hens. Just check. You might be surprised. No roosters though.
In our last house? Yeah, we like to stretch the limits. We can have roosters here because we're zoned in. Plus, like where we live in Lehigh, everybody has a rooster and a few chickens. So who's gonna turn us in? Zeb, did you know there was a hole right here?
Right where?
Right here.
Yeah, they drilled through to probably hang a handgun or something off of there.
Nice. All right. Somebody handmade this because they routed in these little panel situations.
Yeah, the whole thing is handmade. It's custom.
I thought you would have this all ready for me. I came up with this idea like 3 days ago.
Already? What do you mean by already?
I don't know. We have like, do you guys ever have a list that's a mile long and you kind of do a little bit of everything, but nothing gets accomplished? We did get the thrift haul all the way finished and ready to deliver to the shop. So I feel like that's something. That's like a huge task every week to get it all done. We spend probably half a day to a whole day painting things. But it's very satisfying to get it all finished. Today, I finally got a video of all the things we painted this week because I'm usually in such a hurry to ship them that I don't get a picture of them all together. So if you look at our reels or shorts, depending if you're on YouTube or Facebook, you can see all of the things we painted this week. Like when it's all together, it's a little impressive because we paint that much every week.
So usually, like if I'm out in the garage, I will cut this hardware cloth with a grinder and I just zip it. It takes like 3 seconds.
You do need to be careful where you get your chicken information from. I shouldn't giggle, but I had somebody who messaged me the other day and said they cut up the food for their chickens so they didn't choke. Like if they put leftovers in there. And I was like, you do realize that chickens forage. They eat worms. They like in the wild, nobody's cutting up the chicken's food. Like feel free to cut your chicken's food up, but it's really not necessary. They will peck at it.
I mean, maybe it's not bad advice, but I don't worry. They're pretty self-sufficient. As long as they have a food source and water, you really don't even have to do anything with them.
I mean, you should clean up their food because it's stinky. All right. Do you want me to, I'm going to paint the back of this while you're over there.
Okay.
I feel like I'm kind of.
I got to run out to my truck. My stapler's out there. I had to staple some stuff into the barn.
Your mise en place today is not.
I know. I wasn't prepared.
I gotta fix this. I hate these little indents because they're like deep and cavernous.
Well, what I was really doing was I got an email and then I had to like quickly research to make sure that I didn't miss out on a great finance opportunity before the end of January.
He's looking at cars and I'm like, nope.
But no, it wasn't going to be that great a deal. They were tricking me with the fine lettering, the fine print.
We just, like, for tax purposes, we usually buy a vehicle every year. Just basically what we pay for it in payments is what we would pay in taxes. And Zeb really likes vehicles, so he gets on it. But I told him we don't have to do it till the end of the year, so I'm not in the mood. I like my Jeep. Although they do have a new, bigger one out, so maybe we'll order one.
Don't surprise.
But he's always in a hurry. Cooper's off to get his haircut.
See ya.
It's haircutting day. It's a big day. Is he just getting the same haircut he had before? I guess we'll find out. What will Cooper do with his curls? Odelia's here. She get some. Her and Cooper were sitting off to the side eating leftover pizza. Well, actually, I don't even think he was eating, which is surprising. He ate pizza. He ate it cold. I'm like, Rex is about to eat your pizza bones over there. Last night, he texted me, and he said, it's like, my parents won't let me DIY some shelves. They said I have to buy them so they match my room. I was like, what would you like for me to do about that? We'll have to see what the bot shelves look like when they come in. And my kids are the opposite.
Oh, you're painting the back of that too?
Yeah. Well, because I don't have anything else to paint right now. My kids are probably like, could you please stop DIYing my bedroom and buy me some stuff? I can't do that. I have to DIY.
I don't know if that's a possibility.
All my money goes to Home Depot and to buy junk from DI.
All right, so this is like 1/8 of an inch wider, so I am going to have to trim off one of these sides. I'm going to bring you down so you guys can see what I'm doing down here, since we're about to that point where we watch the paint dry.
Well, if you guys are looking for gun cabinets to make over, some of them are like have glass in them, and it's really cute to do like that faux mirror spray and put a mirror in there. You can paint the glass. I mean, there's a lot of different options. Or put beadboard. If you want a closed cabinet, you could have totally put like beadboard in here. I like to leave it open because a lot of people will use these. They'll fold up their antique quilts and put them in here. And that's what I thought I would do, except for down in the basement, it's not really antique quilts. It's like giant fluffy quilts, and they just need more space. Jan says, my husband always says that we can get some new stuff. I'm not saying we'd ever buy new stuff. Zeb and I are actually on the hunt for a new leather sofa because my dogs have taken over.
The white couch
white
was
one.
amazing, and then we got dogs. And I had them fully trained up to not ever go on the couch. I had never let them on there one time, and they would not go on. Jamie let Cody up there like twice, and now the couch is
How are you supposed to cuddle your dogs? I don't want to sit on the floor.
You don't. You leave them on the floor.
Robin, this is from my basement stash. This is the one, if you watch the video, this is what Zeb is carrying single-handedly up the stairs out of the basement. And he literally is like, I can't stand stuff sitting around. As it is, we always have like milking supplies over here. For a couple days a week, there's thrift finds in various stages of being painted, photographed, whatever. And like piles of stuff make me crazy. I don't like it. And so he knows if he takes all the stuff out of the basement and leaves it in piles, I will deal with it.
Also, I just need to start bringing the stuff out of the garage and leaving it in here because I could get rid of the milk cans and things and charge them in the garage. I have a slop sink. I could process all the milk in there.
Some of that stuff's in the garage. Who bought it?
Some of it's mine.
Don't you be passing that blame. Now, the basement decor is pretty much all mine because it's like my personal stash. But the garage is like unfinished Waste Not Wednesdays and thrift haul stuff or things from England that you still haven't listed that I told you I wasn't going to do. Don't talk about that. But now that we're talking about your stash, it's like another story. So we're using faded burlap from DIY Painting, if you're wondering what color. It is a brownish gray, but I feel like it has a blue undertone. And I'm going to show you a project we finished with it yesterday if you watched us paint that mirror.
Now you can see the faded burlap is looking a little bright. It almost looks purpley and gray. It's a cool color. All right, I'm going to be stapling. So.
All right, so here is faded burlap on a mirror that we painted. We're shipping this out. And it's got weathered wood underneath it and then a little bit of crinoline. I can't remember, but.
It just had the yellow color underneath, which would be really close to crinoline. That was the color it was.
So we just redid it, little dark wax, clear wax. But this is what it looks like with dark wax and weathered wood underneath.
All right, back to stapling. Because this is what you're here for, is the stapling. They
came for the commentary, but they're staying
so
for
if you're wondering, this is the Milwaukee. It's the M12 battery system. It's nice because the M12 stuff is lighter. Like Jamie can use this for upholstery and things without having her arm cramp up. And the actual number on this, it's the 2447-20 is the catalog number.
I hate it when people use a slotted screw and a Phillips in the same project.
Yeah, I have to get a slotted out of there.
Do you have a slotted somewhere?
Yeah, it's in the. Did you just touch that and get yourself stabbed?
No, I just almost died. It's okay, I lived.
That was a lot of yelling for random walking.
Well, I wasn't expecting it. It startled me. All right, I'm going to take this ugly pull off of here. Hopefully whatever we put on here covers it. Otherwise, I'll have to put IOD over this.
I also use this for, I put down carpet foam pads with this. Let's see, insulation with this. Like there's it's so handy.
I would just repaint this, but it looks like dragon's tongue on each side, and I'm just not down with that.
Sorry, this is so loud. I'll be done in just a minute.
The faded burlap doesn't look like this on video. I don't know. I feel like it just depends on the lighting. It's definitely one of those colors.
Yeah, it's
a great taupe. It's a taupe.
It can be gray, it can be purple, it can be like a brownish tone.
It reminds me of that song. I can be blue, I can be violet sky. I don't know who sings it. I can be anything you like. That's faded burlap. It's like so many different shades. It's gonna need a couple coats because this original paint finish is real slick. It's probably oil-based something or other. All right. I probably should have painted that before you stapled it on.
Oh, I'm out of staples. It's all right. We can just take a damp cloth and wipe it off the hardware cloth if it gets on there.
That's all right. I'll let you paint that. I'll paint the top.
Okay.
Where's Les? She'd be so excited that I'm painting the top and the backs of things. I haven't decided like if this is the final color or is this the base coat and I'm going to put something over the top of it. I don't know.
Almost forgot how to load my gun.
How to load your staple gun?
Yeah, my staple gun.
No, Tracy, if you got those two candlesticks that were recently painted, those were actually French millinery and definitely lavender. This is not quite the same as that one. Will that hardware cloth snag the quilt? So
no, it's inset down in here. Like you would have to work pretty hard to get something to snag on this lip.
If you were concerned about it, what you could do is take a bead of hot glue and go all the way around the edge where all the edges are, and that would solve that problem. But I don't think it will be a problem. Caitlin just dropped a link to French millinery. When this dries, it's not as purpley. And you saw how it was with that like dark wax.
I got some bubbles here I need to work on.
I think if we're going to leave that color inside, which I'm probably not, I'm probably gonna have to repaint the inside of that.
You could do just apothecary and it'd be pretty much the same look.
Yeah, I think I will. I don't have apothecary here, so.
Shocker.
I know. I have to not keep it at my house every now and then because otherwise I want to paint everything in. But I could also do paint blue. I think that would actually be better than this. More like an old 57 they sprayed in there. The reason why I think possibly a cottage color is because I hate sealing the inside of pieces. Like painting, it's bad enough, but to seal the inside of a piece is a pain in the derriere.
There we go. That's much flatter.
Oh, it's getting cute.
It's got a couple little bends because it was actually not. Oops, I touched the top of your paint.
Look what you did. All right,
but
now we got to take this hardware
there we go.
off.
We're gonna leave it.
How are you gonna get that out of there?
What out of where?
The situation.
Oh, the lock. With
Alley Cat says, or who is it? It looks more like sea glass. Oh, Cynthia. I haven't used sea glass in forever, so that's probably why you think about that. Deb says it's so cute. It's getting there. It is getting there. So we're removing we'll have to put a clicker. By clicker, I mean they have the little things you get at the hardware store that like it has a magnet and keeps it shut.
Now I need pliers. Let's see if I can make it happen with these snips.
I'm just gonna sit here and watch you struggle. I can't really paint till you're done anyways.
Oh, they worked.
They worked?
Yep.
Like a boss. Okay, so then we just need to remove that pull.
So this drawer even has a lock in it too. Like they have a little dowel system over here that drops down into the back of the drawer, so you can't pull the drawer open.
It was probably for like ammo.
Something.
That's what I was thinking.
Hang on. All right, we're through the worst of it.
Sometimes construction projects get loud, even on live TV. This actually was a fairly straightforward hardware cloth replacement. Sometimes Zeb has to get the Sawzall out and cut me a hole. That one just unscrewed, so that was lucky. What are you doing?
Just pushing some of this down tight.
Oh. Is that a remade gun cabinet? Yes. So this was Zeb's old gun cabinet, and he DIY'd a bigger, better cabinet with our refrigerator that broke. That in and of itself is a DIY.
Okay, I'm gonna stand.
And we're remaking this into a quilt cabinet.
Okay, you can paint the front of this now. Let me move all my tools out of the way.
Well, the problem is that it doesn't shut, so I need you to.
We could flip it up on its top.
But it's not dry.
Here,
should we just paint the inside?
We can just hold this up while we paint it.
Yeah, you just hold that up for a while.
Okay,
Okay, the problem is I don't enjoy this hole. So I think I have some IOD paper clay. We could get started on that.
Do you want to paper clay it or do you want me to Bondo it? Bondo's going to be a more
let's
solution.
do Bondo. I'll just repaint it later.
I will. Yeah, all you'll have to do is I'll Bondo it, and we'll have to sand this little area, and then you can slap.
You can Why don't you show them how to Bondo it? I'll have
my mom turn her, coming outside today?
I'll have my mom turn her air purifier on, and we've got a good ventilated space here.
Okay.
Because that's a really good skill.
It's a good skill to have. Somehow there keeps being more and more sawdust. But where did the little vacuum go? Oh, Jamie's got it over here. So this should be pretty cool when we're all done.
Mom, we're going to be using Bondo, so don't come out in the... We're going to be using Bondo, so don't come out to the kitchen for a bit. And turn your purifier up, yeah. The smell will dissipate pretty quick. We won't sand it in the house, so. Okay.
You didn't know it, but this just became a clean with me video. All right, and this was the pool that was on there, and it's a little too brassy. Like, we like brass, but this is bright. And also the shape of it, it's just kind of, don't love it.
So good question. Will sweet pickets milk paint still chip peel when over DIY paint? Does the DIY paint diminish the action of milk paint? So yes and no, it can. Sometimes what you have to do if you're painting over DIY paint is get it wet distress it, and then use a heat gun. We have a video a long time ago, but if you search Jamie Ray Vintage Buffet, we did a buffet that I rolled apothecary on and then used flour sack over the top, and I was able to get the milk paint to chip. Do you need my help?
I'm just trying not to hit the ceiling or mess up your already painted area or the beams up above.
I need to wipe the mud off this other side.
All right, now you can get on a stool and do it, but don't get on this one because it's a turning one. Okay, so there's the cabinet upright. I can probably move the camera back far enough. Let me see. Let me see if we can.
I have very often used DIY paint, like when I wanted to do just white milk paint, but I didn't want to do 800 coats. I'll do white swan DIY paint and then do a few coats of milk paint over the top of it.
You can see how tall that is.
Then it covers.
We're going to work down here.
I'm just getting dust from the basement. It has a lot of construction dust on it. Okay.
Okay, let me get the pokey things.
That is cute. All right, I'll paint this side while you're doing that. We're going to multitask here.
Okay. Just going to move some of the pokey stuff and the splintered wood so that no more surprises where you yell in the camera. Or
I got the drawer painted if you guys didn't see that.
And it's like pretty good natural lighting today. We've got the sun shining instead of overcast, which is rare for the last few weeks. So that should give you a pretty good idea of what the color is going to look like once it starts drying. I'm going to grab a brush.
Not to flash anybody. Sorry if that already
You should
happened.
probably just work from over here.
No, I'm going to stand. I'm going to sit up. I just had to make sure all the paint was dry. I'm wearing a bra, so you're only going to see so much. All right.
You got to keep all the secrets.
I also, it's probably not a secret, we belong to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So I also wear garments, which is basically like a camisole. So you're really, really not going to see much. Nothing to see here. I just really like these jeans, so I didn't want to get.
She came down the stairs. She's like, I put jeans on today.
I actually think I said I put real pants on. I've been wearing
yes, real
joggers for a
pants.
while. You probably can tell I've gained a little bit of weight. I think my thyroid's acting up. We're about to go see the doctor next week. And so pants just really aren't very comfortable right now. And it's super annoying because I'm eating better than I've probably eaten in years. We're working out, doing 2 to 3 miles a day. And I'm not losing any weight. So,
and then our regular activities have stayed the same.
Yeah,
which we're already pretty active.
I'm pretty a busy person. I'm not drinking soda. I haven't had soda at all in the new year. And well, I did have a 7-Up, but no Dr. Pepper. Because it's highly addicting for me and it's like crack. Like I love it. It makes me so happy. So I have to not like 7-Up. I can have a little bit and be okay. But if I drink Dr. Pepper, I'm like, when that first sip hits your soul, you know? So me and the doctor are going to have a little chitty chat. We just had our blood work done, so.
Well, last time when we went in the summer, she's like, you're probably borderline with a thyroid issue, but she's like, I want to hold off medicating you for that.
She's like, I want to see if I can do it with supplements.
And we are pro, like, let's fix it with diet and supplements if we can.
And I'm trying, but it's not working. So, and the thyroid medication she uses is actually not synthetic. It's actual, like, animal thyroid. So it's a little different. Bye. Have a good day. Did you ditch a class?
No, she had it's half day, and she had her internship because she's in the student teacher internship program. And so she was a student aide at the junior high, and that teacher was like, it's half day. We're going to be here for 20 minutes. You don't have to come.
Oh, that's why Cooper is here too, because they're both interns.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. A lot of splits.
Well, Cooper's internship is his job now that he's done with his classes, and he's got his certificate. And so they count his work hours as that. And so he literally does not have
his job's a real situation. I mean, he works in a nursing home.
These two seniors got it real tough.
I was done with school by 11:30 every day.
I was done by noon, and 3 of my classes were elective, like physical education type classes.
Well, I could have been done at 10:30 my senior year, but they made us do study hall.
The only real class, I was done with all my sciences. This was back in the day when they were like, you need 4 sciences, 4 English, and 4 maths to get into a good college. And so I took senior English, and I was done with like kind of all my higher end maths that I was wanting to take. And so I had applied math, which was cake. It was like 8th grade math my senior year. And my English class, and then the rest were just electives that I needed to graduate. So I pretty much was done by like 10. I had one teacher that they're like, yeah, just go run on the track and you can bounce out to work when you're done. I'd go run like 2 miles on the track and leave.
I used to go, because I got out of school earlier than him. We went to different high schools. I used to go play tennis with him in one of his last PE classes. And I just volunteered at a nursing home. And I guess I did work. No, I wasn't volunteering at the nursing home then. I was working as a hostess by that point. I had a job specifically to get my hair and nails done. So if you're smarter than us, you'll paint it first and then put the hardware.
I was so excited to show him putting the hardware cloth in. I had to just go.
I thought you were going to Bondo. What's going on here?
I am going to Bondo after.
Oh.
Like I'll just Bondo that, sand the flat. Oh, we're going to show that?
Yeah,
okay, let me go get after.
Going to show them.
Let me get after that.
Cynthia was all excited. She's got chairs to do.
All right, Cynthia, I'll go get the Bondo right now.
I already told my mother to turn up the air purifier. My mom has COPD, so she's super sensitive. So while this is a well-ventilated area in a big room, she can't handle it. So I had to make sure she turns up her air purifier and make sure she doesn't need to come out here. And the smell does dissipate. Now, I would not sand it inside your house because once it like cures up, the smell goes away. But if you sand it, I just feel like you need to be wearing a mask. You need to be in the garage. So just pro tip with Bondo. You can also use a product. It's called plastic wood. It doesn't shrink too bad. So if you're really sensitive to smells and Bondo just isn't an option, try plastic wood. But anytime you've got a hole that big, you got to be careful. One of the things we've also done, like in old doors that we did here in the house, because we used a door that had like a deadbolt, we put like a backer and do spray foam. And then once it's dry, we take it and we slice it off with a, what they called, insulation knife. You can buy those at Home Depot. And then you can just float some lightweight over it after the spray foam has dried and sand that and then paint, and it's pretty good. We could have been a little better with the lightweight because you can kind of still see the circle, but it's much better than it was. This pantry door, that bathroom door, and we need to eventually do it to our doors to our closet and our bathroom in our primary bedroom because we still have deadbolts because we never painted those doors. Okay, your camera is very bright. Oh, yes. Zeb will fix that when he gets back. I'm not allowed to touch the camera. Sorry, guys. If I touch it, I don't know what to do. But it's just because we've been half an hour. And so at every 30 minutes, it like turns off and we have to turn it back on. Lori says, what is lightweight? So lightweight is just like spackle that you use to like touch up things in your house. Patch and paint, different. Everywhere has different words for it. Let's see. Caitlin, fix the camera. I gotta wait. What is the medication your doc gives you? I take Synthroid and hate it. Zeb takes Armor Thyroid, and it is, I want to say bovine, but I'm not positive. Your Armor.
It's porcine.
What?
It's porcine. Pig.
Pig thyroid. Can you fix the camera? It's
yes.
very, very bright.
Okay.
I told him I wasn't allowed to touch it.
You're not. It's the rules.
It's the rules. I don't make them. There you go. And we're back.
I almost forgot.
Gabapentin, no. Neither one of us take gabapentin.
I have this piece up here I almost forgot to take out.
I don't take any medication.
I didn't take any
until... I probably should be highly medicated.
I didn't take any until I was 40.
I take a grip. My kids are like, what is all that? I take a grip of supplements every morning. It's like, let's see. I take iodine. I can give you my whole rundown because I don't have anything to do right now. So I'll tell you all the things I take.
Health with Jamie Ray.
Yeah, healthy with Jamie Ray. I take magnesium at night because it makes me sleepy. I take cinnamon, iodine, fish oil, citrus bergamot. I have high cholesterol. And DHEA, which is supposed to be for hormones. And I think if there's anything else I take. And then I also use a multivitamin called Thrive, and it's got like caffeine in it, but also like B12 and a bunch of other stuff in it. So I take it daily with that. And then, yeah. And we try to eat pretty good because supplements are one thing. However, I also take a weekly vitamin D supplement. It's really important, especially in the wintertime here. But it's better if you can eat healthy foods and gain your nutrition through that. Because a lot of the stuff, you just go to the bathroom and you flush it because it just goes right through your system.
So that hole's pretty big on the back side, not too big on the front side. So I don't need a ton of this. That's a lot more than I need, but I'll mix it up. Let me bring it close so you guys can see.
So for my cholesterol, I take fish oil and citrus bergamot. Anyways, there you go.
So Bondo, all-purpose Bondo putty. You can use automotive putty, but I feel like this does better on other materials other than metal and fiberglass. So I use the all-purpose, and then it's pretty much good. Like that's not going to dry out just sitting there. And then this is the cream hardener that comes with it. It sometimes gets watery, so I give it a little squish to mix it up. And then it doesn't take a lot. This is probably a couple pea size dabs would work for this much. And it's cold because it's been in the garage, so it's going to be thick to stir. And then it pretty much sticks to whatever you're using to mix with. And if you don't want to scrape it and mix it forever, I just use like a scrap piece of wood. This is like trim from doing the bathroom we recently finished. And then just going to mix it up in here. This hopefully will warm it up and make it a little more pliable.
I do have to say, if you are taking supplements, you should be doing blood work regularly and working with a functional medicine doctor. I feel like a lot of people just take supplements, but then they're not monitoring how those supplements are affecting the things that they're trying to A, make better, and B, things like kidneys and all kinds of things that can be affected by that. And everything has to be processed, whether you're taking supplements or medication. Your body has to process it. So you have to be super careful. We get blood work done about 4 times a year, which is spendy because we don't have we have a healthcare plan. It doesn't cover blood work at all.
Major medical issues, but not like doctor visits. So there's also a lot of really good new science out that about like what your diet should look like for your blood type. Mm-hmm. Because there's certain things depending on your blood type that sit well with you and help you, or also certain things that exacerbate things like thyroid issues and hormone levels and things like that.
Yeah.
Okay, we got that thoroughly mixed up. Let me see if I can.
Like when we get our full panels done, it's like pages and pages and pages and pages. Like some people say, oh, I'm getting a full workup, and they like have 8 things they're checking. That's not a full workup. Our doctor will spend, when we do our full panel, which we don't usually do all of it all the time, it's like an hour visit with our doctor.
Yeah, just talking about
Zeb
numbers.
and I go in together. It's
just talking about numbers on a page. Oh, all right, I'm going to be in the way there. Sorry, just trying to get the camera angle right so you can.
I love this adorable cabinet. Thanks, Marnie. Marnie Ray. Is that somebody related to us?
It's a high chance. I don't know many Rays I'm not related to. Okay. Just going to force it in the front here. Do you want me to?
Go ahead and cover those so then I can just use whatever pull I want. And if you have extra ones, just fill these too.
So the reason I use this versus like a wood putty is this is going to be structural. And I've never found a wood putty, no matter what they claim, that can handle a screw going into it that doesn't pop out. All right, so I'm just going to leave this a little proud, and you can see it's like a goopy, sticky mess.
I should clarify, a little proud means higher than the piece, so that way when he sands it, it doesn't divot.
Yeah.
Not everybody understands Zeb lingo. That's actually something my dad said all the time. You got to leave it proud.
Yeah.
It means it sticks up a little bit.
So that there's no divots, and this can be tricky because it's so thick it wants to pull as you scrape it across. So I usually just go real gentle, and it looks like a hot mess, but some 80 grit sandpaper before this cures for more than a day will zip that down really good. This will be dry in about 10 minutes here in the house. So technically we could sand that, but I'm not going to sand it in the house.
Yeah.
If you want to see how much I put in,
look, it's pooching out the back.
Look how much pooched out the back.
And we will just let that dry and sand it. Actually, you want to just see if you can.
I'll just push it up right there like that.
Yeah, there we go.
And then that'll be fine. This hole here is not, and maybe if it bugs you, you could fill it yourself. In fact, I have a little more extra.
I'm going to open the back door. Let's get this.
Okay. Typically do this outside. Don't do it in your house. We have a huge vaulted ceiling, lots of air volume in here. It's not really that stinky, but
well, once it dries, it stops stinking.
Definitely don't sand it without a respirator on.
Yeah, I told him, I said, we won't be sanding this. This is not going to be on this video. This will have to go to the garage.
Okay, so now we can kind of touch that up.
So we'll let that dry completely. We're probably going to have to call it here just because.
We still got some we can paint on the front.
You want to paint
like all this whole front of the cabinet.
Well, do you want to paint the inside before we put shelves in?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we are going to be putting shelves in this. The way we do shelves is that we'll just cut a couple strips of wood and then a flat piece, and he'll just put the strips of wood on the side, the flat piece on the top, and then staple it down.
I would probably cut this in half and just use like a little strip right there, and then the wood can go over the top, and then this is thick enough. Yeah, this is thick enough. I can nail into this with like a 3/4 inch nail or a 1/2 or 1 inch nail. Because by the time you go through this and this, it's only going to come into the wood that far. And that'll be super strong, especially for holding quilts. It won't go anywhere. And you could even glue it if you wanted it to be stronger.
Do you want to mix up some milk paint for the inside? I have some Summer Cottage that
sure,
I can
you
use
can. We got to scrape this weird foamy paint thing down. I was just going to sand it. So I'm just going to paint the exterior here.
All right. It's cold out there, but it's drying. So that door is real special.
You gotta, okay, ninja kick it. I'll tell you the same thing I told Redrick. Every single house in this, or every single door in this home is antique. Don't bang them or slam them shut. Redrick's got a real problem with slamming doors.
So I'm going to use Summer Cottage milk paint. It's in a baggie because I bought it by the gallon back before they were putting gallons in bags. I think that I'm probably going to do finish the faded burlap on here, but then the outside will get painted white, and then I'll distress back to the faded burlap. I don't think I'm going to do...
On what?
I don't think I'm going to keep the faded burlap. I think I'm going to do faded burlap.
Oh, this is a base tone?
Yeah, a base coat, and then we'll do white and distress back to it. I don't know.
Okay.
Just because now that I'm doing the Summer Cottage on the inside, I just think it'd be cuter if it was mostly white on the outside. I should have painted a weathered wood, but whatever. Sometimes you just don't know. All right, I need some water in here. If you could see the inside of this sink, Eliza's fallen asleep on the dish job.
Mornings are tough on that one. She's coming into her full teenage years. She's going to be 14 in a couple months, and life's hard if you have to talk to her.
Yeah. Her and Redrick are our closest in age children. They're only like 2 years apart.
2 years and a couple months.
So it's been rough.
Everyone else is like 3 years apart or more.
So you do 1 part warm water to 1 part milk paint. That's just what I'm mixing up here. Does milk paint go bad after a while? If you mix it up, you got a couple hours probably max. But if it's dry, I've never had milk paint go bad.
Yeah, in powder form, it lasts a really long time.
And I'm mixing this a little bit thicker because it'll cover better. Stacy says, I'm getting my first chickens this spring. It was in the works before egg prices went up. So we bought our bantams, which we actually recently, close your ears if you're vegan. We recently processed our bantams. We bought them in 2020.
We just had the talk. They were 3 years old. They were basically 80.
Yeah, 2020. And we got them from Cackle Hatchery. That's where we get most of our birds for, unless we go to the local feed store.
Jamie gets them from Cackle Hatchery because she wants all the pretty rainbow eggs and the pretty birds. Those black Americanas, they're like...
Are there teal feathers coming in?
Yeah, they got teal feathers, and they look like ravens, but teal.
Cooper's on here, and he says, I helped with that. Thanks, Coop.
Yes, he did. He was a big help with that.
Coop learned how to butcher, which is an important life skill. I say that. I've never done it, but I'm married to Zeb. And he teaches my boys, so if something should happen to him, I guess I got backup.
It's not exclusive to boys. I'll teach anyone who wants to learn. The girls.
Well, that is true.
The girls opted out.
I should say that Odelia has done it before, just not these ones.
Yeah. Odelia can also use the lathe, so it just depends on who wants to learn what.
Oh, wow. Christian said in California, feed is anywhere from $24 to $28 a bag.
So we're at 19.
We're at $19.95, but still that's a lot, like quite a bit more.
Yeah. So I did the math on Buttercup. It's costing me about $200 a month to feed her. It was about $400 to get an AI tech to drive down here. I paid a little bit extra because she had about a half hour of travel time. But to get her bread was about $400. But if we drink so much milk, we're eating all the cheese. I thought you were
going to say we drink.
We drink so much milk. We eat so much cheese. I'm making butter out of it. We made yogurt. We got the sour cream start so we can start making our own sour cream. Like, we eat a lot of dairy products. It is, I did the math at current prices because we used to try to buy all organic dairy if we could. at current prices, if you're buying raw milk and organic cheeses and butters and stuff, that would cost us for our amount of consumption about $8,000 a year for our family, the size that we are and how much we eat, which is at $200 a month to feed Buttercup. I'm at like $2,200. I don't know. Do the math. $2,400.
You want me to do the math?
We're saving money. We are saving about $5,500 a year above what her feed is costing us just in dairy products. So for us, it's working out. If you're not drinking 7-8 gallons of milk in a week,
get a mini.
Get a smaller cow. They eat less.
You're gonna have to scrape that off.
And we probably eat like 2 to 3 pounds of cheese between all of the tacos and the quesadillas and the grilled cheese sandwiches and all the various things.
Like a scraper? Like what the heck spilled here?
I mean, it's like an epoxy type paint. Like it's like a bucket of paint spilled in there.
It's a bottom shelf. It's getting painted over.
Okay.
If it looks real bad, then I'll worry about it. But
here, let me bring you guys in close. We got kind of dim. The sun.
Now we're going even brighter.
But I feel like once you sand it, it'll tone back because you're going to distress that. Some may chip because it's milk paint. You didn't put any bond in that, right?
No, ain't nobody got time for bond. I like this color better though.
I love that we can paint and like our topic of discussion always comes back around to like what we eat every day.
Well, I feel like it talks about like whatever we're doing, right? Like if it's summertime. Remember after we got the boat, we were talking about going to the lake. Like it's whatever we happen to be doing. This summer this spring Zeb wants to go fishing. So my little boat investment's gonna pay off in fresh fish.
We could go ice fishing right now.
I feel like that is a really good bonding experience for you and the boys.
Yeah.
Harrington could go with you. I bet Cooper would come.
Tibble Fork's got like 1.5 feet of ice on it.
Yeah, that's not really my
You can drive out on that.
But I tell you what, I will get the batter ready and we will do the kamut and I will make you fish and chips.
All right.
If you give me the fish. But it needs to come already cleaned and all that kind of stuff.
I was watching your pharmacist, Phil's my pharmacist on Instagram that you like to watch. And he was talking about fish oil is good for kids. He's like, it'll improve according to a study in Australia, it'll improve their IQ just enough to get them moved out of your house. And maybe they'll turn off a light switch.
If you have a kid with ADHD that has a hard time
does help
focusing,
with that
fish oil is really good for that. My son doesn't take it anymore, but he did when he was at home.
Yeah.
It's not going to like replace ADHD medication. Okay, I'm not getting into that situation, but fish oil is a really great supplement. And if anybody has like focusing issues, it's good. Or just eat fish.
And here's this cabinet we painted.
And here's this cabinet. Here's because Zeb and I apparently are the epitome of health over here.
No, we're not, but we're trying.
I can't lose weight to save my life. But I think that I have something working against me. So we're going to figure it out. That's why we got our blood work done. That's why I'm going to go see the doctor. 40 has not been my best year. As far as health goes. Everything else is fine. The reason why I know the other thing that I was reading about with thyroid is that you can have really dry, cracked heels. And I have had that for years. And so there you go. You can just hear me sniff my burrs up. I can only reach so high.
We probably will leave the holes. We might sand this so that it's not jagged where that locking mechanism kind of wore away.
It's bespoke.
Yeah.
All right, you got to do the higher up painting.
Okay, I will do the higher up painting. We'll give them the ceiling view.
Man, the drawer that they use, that's oak on the side of that drawer.
It's cedar.
It's cedar?
Cedar.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. It's solid.
It might be. No, I think it's just sanded cedar.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I guess if you sanded it, I could check. Alley Cat says I love that color. Me too. Definitely going to go white over the top of the faded burlap.
It is super hard to paint a piece this big on a live stream. Let me just tell you.
What's a giant cabinet? How do you make different types of cheeses? So we just do mozzarella because it's the fastest, and it's just the different ways you cook it. Rennet, we use citric acid. You can make farmer cheese. Stacey says, I missed the color. What milk paint? This is Summer Cottage.
Isn't Summer Cottage?
Marnie Ray says, I hope we're related. I'm LDS too. Oh, there's a good chance. The Rays come out of Salt Lake City and then they migrated down to Arizona. If you've been to Gilbert or Chandler and you've seen Ray Road,
we came from England, and then Georgia. The Rays I'm related to ended up in Georgia because when the king was emptying his debtors' prisons in the 1700s, my grandpa, James Ray, ended up in Georgia because apparently he had debt he didn't pay.
Bethel Restoration, so they just need to rebuild another house. I was almost dead. I'm not going to do that again. We might have another project. Deb and I were actually talking the other day how we have like PTSD. Literally, we have PTSD when we think about how hard that was.
We may do like a cabin build here in the near future, like within a couple of years future. But there's not a hard and fast timeline like we had to move into this house. So it might take us a couple of years to build it. Like we might dry it in and then do the finish work over time instead of like killing ourselves like we did on this house to try to get it done. And this one's still not done.
Happy Peach Thrift says, I'm a Ray from Georgia. What area of Georgia did your family settle?
I don't remember. They came west pretty fast.
Yeah, they didn't spend very much time there.
They were in Salt Lake by 1850s or 60s, one of the two. Can't remember exactly. And then they went down to Mexico and Arizona. Like most of my family, my immediate family is in Arizona still.
Well, not immediate. You have aunts.
Well, aunts and uncles, cousins. And I guess immediate is my brothers and sisters. Only my sister Kate lives in Arizona now.
Wendy says, how is milk paint different than chalk paint? So milk paint comes in a powder form and you have to mix it up.
It's made with actual milk.
It is bio-certified food safe. Sorry, I don't know how I got that comment up there. And it will crackle and chip on its own, whereas chalk paint won't. So, and it's thinner in most of the time.
It's like almost like in ancient times they made paint with milk, so it's more of an old style paint. So when you have like turn of the century paint finishes that you're trying to replicate or reproduce, it's really great for that.
Yeah, so it's DIY because it's clay based, so they're made more. I mean, obviously they've modernized their like manufacturing, right? But it's just really similar. And the milk paint will have, just like the clay, it will have highs and lows and variation in the tones. So that is also something that's really great about milk paint. Chalk paint, like traditional chalk paint, like Annie Sloan chalk paint, that is not going to have highs and lows. It's mixed with a mineral base, totally different. But milk paint and our clay DIY paint, you will get highs and lows and different variations in it, which is kind of fun.
Since this is kind of similar to the color that was underneath, I'm not going to go for a full, complete 100% coverage on this.
I think 2 coats and we're good here.
Well,
cottage cheese, are you going to make it? We made ricotta.
Yeah, we're experimenting with all the cheeses, and I eat a lot of cottage cheese. So as we have enough milk, because we drink, she gives about, right now it was a little warmer last week, which I think really is dependent on how much milk she gives. She was giving like 2.5 gallons a day. But when it was cold back in December, she was giving under a gallon when it was getting down to like below 10 degrees at night.
Jennifer says, can I paint serving dishes? Yes. So you can paint them with the Sweet Pickets milk paint and then seal them up with hemp oil or tongue oil. I would suggest tongue oil. Just know that they're going to be like a hand wash situation, and they probably should be raw wood, because you're not going to be able to take like porcelain dishes, paint them with milk paint, paint them with tongue oil, and get it to stick. Like that's not going to happen. You're not going to be able to put it on that. But if you had like a raw wood that you wanted to turn into a platter, you could absolutely paint it with milk paint, seal it with tongue oil, and then use that in a food serving capacity. Did we ever make yogurt? Yes, we did. We have Greek yogurt starter. So we're going to be doing that next. We just need to work on finding a way and a mix that our kids will eat it, because they did not enjoy the raw milk yogurt.
It was fine. You just had to add something to it because it really just tasted like sour
just
milk.
Sour. No other builds will be that bad because you both are experienced. I don't know that one house makes us experienced. In fact, I'm pretty sure my mind, like legit, we're planning on putting wood flooring in this old part of the house because there's no subfloor. And so we just need more stability. So we're going to go over the top of the flooring we have in here. And I'm like, I'm not even sure I remember.
Oh, no, that's the power. Hang on.
We'll be back. Sorry, guys. I'm like, I don't even know if I remember how to put in wood flooring. Like I'd have to go over that, even though I did 2,600 square feet of flooring. So we've got like a warning. It says failed to communicate with the camera and check connections. It's showing up on the.
I'm going to come re-add it. I was just going to show, we were pretty much done.
Okay, sorry, but can you fix that?
I pulled the camera too far away from the power cord and it unplugged it.
Our Instant Pot does not have the yogurt setting, so I might actually have to buy a new one.
Hey, can you see us now? Yeah. It's on the stream.
Cooper says, add some granola to the yogurt. Cooper, why don't you make some granola?
I did add a bunch of granola.
Yeah, we usually do the keto granola from Costco. All right, guys. Here is where we're at.
Oh, we didn't paint the top of the front. I'll get that.
We'll get that later. It's going to get white over the top of it. It's going to get distressed. It's going to get shelves, but you guys kind of get the idea. Oh, you didn't cover these holes. It's okay.
Oh.
You get the idea where we're headed here with this cabinet redo. So if you're out like thrifting or junking and you see old gun cabinets, don't pass them by because they can be easily turned into really cute cabinets. And people are always searching for cabinets to fit in small spaces, which are sometimes really hard to find. If you guys want to use the paint that we used today, we just used faded burlap, and then we use summer cottage milk paint, both available at jamierayvintage.com. And if you're on Facebook, if you can hit share, and if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to Jamie Ray Vintage for more
DIY.
Bye, you guys. Deb, you want to come around and say bye to them?
Yes.
Linda says, I love it. Thank you. It's getting there. I think
I know sometimes people are frustrated because they can't see a finished project in the space of an hour-long live stream, but we'll make sure to put pictures and all the stuff on here.
Yeah, follow us on all the social, and then we'll get this finished for you. Love you guys, and we will see you tomorrow for our shop tour.
Yeah.
Our sometimes Thursday shop tour.
I mean, you saw the hard part, how to do the hardware cloth and the Bondo. Yeah. They're both pretty easy parts, so nothing's hard about it.
Bye, you guys.